Okay, class, today we're going to cover section 6.3. It's called two circle Venn diagrams. And so in order to do that, you are going to have to draw sometimes pictures. So when we deal with two circle Venn diagrams, we have our universal set, which is this long rectangular figure, right? And inside we have our two sets. We have set A and we have set B. So our set A, we'll color it green. I like colors. And the other one, we'll just leave it as it is, green and blue. Set B is the blue. So notice when these two circles meet, there is an overlap within the middle part. So that's what happens when we have two circle Venn diagrams. And so you have items inside the circles, and then you have items that are not within the circles, which is that. So we use Roman numerals to indicate the regions within the circles and the entire universe. So notice I color coded them in red, the regions. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so we're going to answer some questions. Okay, so we want to know, there's several of them. A is the elements, which region contains the elements in set B that are not in set A. We also want to know in which region are the elements in both sets A and B. C, we want to know the region that contains the elements in the universal set that are in neither set A nor set B. And in the last region, we want to know which region contains the elements in set A that are not in set B. So we're gonna go ahead and figure out which regions correspond to descriptors that are listed here. All right, so let's see. Let's figure out which region is which. So to me, I think the easiest one is what I consider to be the easy one is the center. The centerpiece is probably the easiest. All right, so let's identify from these descriptors which one is 2. So to me, this 2 is where they both intersect. That's where the elements are. So I'm thinking that this is region B, the elements in both sets A and B. So both this section is in this circle, and it's also in this circle. Notice, if you look at just the green circle just by itself, the whole circle contains regions 1 and 2. The blue one contains regions 2 and 3. So notice that both of them have this 2 in common, so it has to be B. So letter B is region number 2. Okay. All right, so now that I know that what that centerpiece is, I can figure out the other ones. All right, so let's see if we can identify letter A. We're gonna go backwards. So the elements in set B that are not in set A. So let's look at B, and we want the regions that contain only B. I don't want the region that is also in A. So it's either going to be 2 or 3, but I only want the region that only contains set B that are not in set A. So they don't want it to overlap. So it looks like region 3 is going to be the winner, right? So region 3 would represent A. 3. Okay. And then C says, which region contains the elements in the universal set that are not in neither set A or nor set B. So I don't want anything inside the circles, both of them. So that leaves me with region 4. So C is region 4. And then D, the elements that are in set A, but that are not in set B. So look at A. A is the green circle, right? And A contains regions 1 and 2, but I don't want it to overlap with the B. So that leaves me with the 1. So region 1 is D. Right. Region D. Right. So that's the kind of like the setup for the two circle Venn diagrams. You got to know the regions of the parts that you're dealing with when you're dealing with two circles. All right. So the hard part is figuring out what goes inside the elements, and then from there you can actually answer the question. So there's two ways you can do it. You can do it visually, or you can do it, just by working it out the long way, visual or the long way. There's two ways of doing it. So I'm gonna hopefully I can show y'all both so you can understand both of them. But I think most of y'all are going to be visual learners so you can understand it by looking at it. All right, so the next part is we are going to figure out from a Venn diagram, we're going to do some sets. Okay, we're going to figure out different sets using the unions, the intersections, and the complements. All right, so let's just first see if we can answer. We can figure out the regions that are involved when we figure out this problem. So they're asking us to identify what regions are contained in the problem, parentheses, set A union with set B complement the entirety and the complement of that. Right. So that looks kind of difficult, but you got to remember, you got to do it in pieces, right? You got to do it in pieces. So let's just take it piece by piece. All right. So we got all we're taught about order of operation, right? So order of operation tells us to do the inside part, right? So I want to do A union B complement. So let's just take it in pieces. Let's figure out the elements or the regions in which A has, all right? So A, so which regions does A have? The red circle, right? So the red circle has 1 and 2. So the regions in A are 1 and 2. These are, right? And then the next part is they want us to find what B, and there's a little tick mark, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little tick mark by the B. That little tick mark means complements. So they want you to find the complement of B. So which regions does that represent? So remember, B complement are the regions that are not in the circle, right? So which ones are not in the blue circle? Well, this one's in the blue circle, and so is 2, but 1 and 4 are not contained in the blue circle. So that's what B complement is, the ones that are not in the circle. So it's 1 and 4. So 1 and 2 is in the red, and then B complement are the ones that are not in the blue. So there's your 1 and 4. So now that we know this and this, now we can perform the union. What does union mean? If you recall what union means, is you're uniting these regions with this region. So you're going to combine them. So if you combine them, technically you get 1, 2, 1, 4, but you don't have to write 1 again, right? So as you recall, B, we were talking about the B complement. The B complement means the region's not in the set B. And union, remember union means to unite or combine. So if I combine them, we get 1, 2, and 4. Right? So that's what A union B complement is. The regions are 1, 2, and 4. So you can see it. It's really 1. There's your 2. You don't have to write 1 again. It's there. And there's 4. So this part here in yellow is the regions 1, 2, and 4. We got those by combining the regions of A together with the regions of B complement. So we got that. All right, now we want to do the outside. So I want to put a little tick mark at the end there. And so that tick mark again, what does that mean? Right? The tick mark means what regions are missing. So if I have in my yellow, I have 1, 2, and 4. Which ones are missing from my picture? Well, I have 1, 2, and 4. I'm missing region number 4. Well, actually, no. I have 1, 2, and 4. I am missing. I have 1, 2, and 4. I am missing number 3. So region 3 was the missing piece from this part. You see how I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1, 2, and 4. I don't have 3. That's what that tick mark means. What's missing? And so that would be region number 3. Okay. You don't understand it? Go over it again and visualize what we went through to get to this region. Okay. All right. So that's the process of how that's going to work. Now, another way of doing it, and I put it in words. Some of y'all understand it more in words than visually. So I also wrote it more in detail. So let's go through it so you can see how this works. Okay, so let's see how this one works. So we'll run through the steps again so you can understand how they work. Okay, so first, let's look at set A. Okay, so set A is the red circle. So the red circle, just the entire circle of the red includes regions 1 and 2. So there they are, 1 and 2. Regions in set B not. They're not in the circle, in the blue circle. Not in the blue circle. So there's your blue circle. Right? The blue circle has 2 and 3, but the ones that are not in the blue is 1 and 4. So there's 1 and 4. And remember, union means to unite. So I already did the A, I did the B complement. I'm going to combine this Roman numerals with these, and I don't have to write duplicates. So 1, 2, and 4. Okay. So that's what this is. Now I got to take the complement of this whole entire thing. So remember, the complement again means what's missing. So I have 1, 2, and 4. The only region I'm missing is number 3. I'm missing number 3. I have 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. I don't have 3. So that's your answer. So in words, we redid the problem again, and it kind of fell into place, right? Kind of. All right, cool. Now, sometimes they won't give you a picture. You will have to draw the picture. They will give you what the universal set is, and they will provide you information of what each set has in terms of elements. So suppose we have here's the universal set A, B, C, D, E, F, and H, and our set A includes A, C, E, G, and set B has B, C, D, and E. So if you notice at the very beginning, these two sets have two letters that they have in common. Notice they have a C in common, and they also have an E in common, right? Because those two they have in common, that means these two letters are going to be where they overlap. So we're going to draw a picture of it, and then we will put the other letters that go in the circle. So I know C and E are going to go in the middle. So here's my picture. So here's my picture, and I'm going to go ahead and put the C and the E, which they had here overlapping, which means then that A would have the leftovers, A and G here on that side. So that's A. Notice A is A, G, C, E. And then this one, this circle has to be the B. Why? Because B says it has B, C, D, E, right? It's got B, C, D, E, B, C, D, E, B, C, D, E. And those are the ones that have in common. So there are your sets, A and B, right? And they want us to find A union B complement. Oh, I forgot the F and the H, right? So if I go back to my universal set, A, B, C, A, B, A, C, E, G is A, B is B, C, D, E, and my universal set has all these elements. So these letters are in the circles, but what's missing? I have the A, there's the B, the C's included, D's here, E is there, F. I don't have F, so that means F has to go outside. I have the G, there's the G. I don't have H. So the ones that are missing from inside the circles are the F and the H. That's why I have an F and H right at this. Okay. All right, so now let's find A union B complement. Okay, that's what I want to find. I want to find what the elements are in this column. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to, first, we got to identify the elements that are in the union. Remember, union means to combine. So what we're doing is we're doing the inner part first. Work your way in, out. I'm doing that part first. Right? So remember, union means combine, unite. So I'm going to combine the units of A together with B, and don't rewrite letters that overlap. So you just write those ones. So my elements are going to be A, G, C, E, B, D. A, there it is. A, I just put them in order. A, B, C, D, E, and G. I'm putting all these letters that are in both circles together, and that's my set for A union B. Now I got to do the outer part. The outer part says the tick mark. Remember, the tick mark is the complement of the A union B. So if these are my elements, go back to your picture. These are my elements. What's missing from the universal set? Okay. My universal set was what? What was my universal set? My universal set was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I believe. My universal set. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So let's compare our my universal set with my right. Here's my universal set. This is my group. Here's my universal set. What's missing? I am missing the F and missing an H. So the complement is what's missing. The F and the H is missing. So that's how you do it. You got to do it. You got to break it up into pieces to get the remaining elements. Okay. Right. Okay. Next. Next, we are going to find A complement intersect B complement from our picture here. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to find the intersection of A complement with B complement. So here's our picture, right? So let's first identify what are the elements of A complement, right? Let's figure out what are the elements in A complement, all right? So A complement, you guys recall, A complement are going to be the elements that are not in the A circle. What elements are not in the circle? Well, the ones that are not in that circle is B, D, F, and H. B, D, F, and H. So that's what A complement is. This is what A complement is. Now we're going to find the elements that are in the B complement. All right, so which elements are not in B? So look at the B circle, and I want the ones that are not in that circle, contained in that circle. So the ones that are not contained in that circle is the A, the G, the F, and H. So here's your complement, A, F, G, H. So now that I know my A complement and I know my B complement, now I'm going to intersect them. What does intersect mean? Intersect means what values does this set have in common with this one? Well, if I look at them, I don't, well, yeah, we do. We do have an F and the H. Both F and H, they both have those two elements in common. They have the F and the H in common. So intersection means what elements in the set both have in common. They have the F. Oh, I think I wrote my F too small. I have the F and the H, which translates to those two elements, F and H. So you got to do it in pieces. You first start with what the elements are in that one. What's the elements in that one? Then once you find that, then you want to intersect them. Find the common points. Then yeah. All right. All right, so now it's going to get a little bit more challenging because we are now going to do problems that will give us information about the two sets, and we have to draw them before we answer any questions. All right, so we're going to do number 3. And the first thing we're going to do is figure out how to assemble the circle, right? How to create it, how to draw it. Right, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so let's do number 3. So it says in a survey of 100 randomly selected freshmen walking across campus, It turns out that 42 are taking a math class, 51 are taking an English class, and 12 are taking both. How many students are taking either a math class or an English class? Okay, so how do we start it off? So we draw our universal box, and we draw our two circles. Let's do green. We'll label that A, and we'll color the other one red. Is set B, right? And let's see what it says. So there's 100. So we know that the universe consists of 100 randomly selected people. So we know that my universe is 100 students, freshmen. That's your total. Okay. And it says here that, oh, we're dealing with English and students taking math. So we can take out the A and the B, and we're going to label them with those terms. So we'll use E for English and M for math. So we have math and E for English. Okay. And it says that it turns out that 42 are taking a math class, 51 are taking an English class, and 12 are taking both. Now, remember how I told you it was so important to have that middle term? Well, guess what? I know exactly where they intersect. It is going to be at 12. 12 will be the intersection because they are taking both English and math. So once you know what the center point is, it's going to be easy cheesy after that. Okay? Now, I want to figure out these regions that are not in the center. This is the 12, but I need to figure out how many people are taking math alone and how many people are taking English alone. So we go back to the problem. It says here, it turns out that 42 are taking a math class, 42 of them. So I know from those 42, 12 are accounted for because they're taking both math and English. So there's 12 already that are included in that 42. So I got to figure out what this piece is. So they're telling you that the green circle is 42. So I got to figure out what that missing piece is. So what I do is I do for the math, I'm going to do 42 minus the 12, which gives me 30. So there are 30 taking math. 30 are taking math. All right, so I'll fill in that with a 30. Okay. Now I want to figure out how many people alone are taking English. Well, I was told from the problem that there were 51 taking English, right? So I can go over here and do my English. I know I got the colors backwards. And I'm gonna and from those 51, 12 have been accounted for. So I'm going to do 51 minus the 12 to give me that empty spot there, which gives me 39. Okay. So I'm using the fact of the intersection to figure out these empty spots. So these people alone are taking math by itself, and these people alone are taking English by themselves. You guys can count. If you add the green circle, 30 plus 12, that should give you 42. We add 12 plus 39, it should give you 51. Right? And so now I have my numbers embedded in the circles, but I need to figure out how many of them are not even taking math and English from the 100. So to do that, we can figure out the missing Those not taking neither. Those not taking neither. So what you do is you get your 100, okay? And you're gonna subtract the sum of the numbers inside the circle. So you're gonna add 30 plus 12 plus 39, and whatever number you get when you add them, you take them away from 100. So you're going to add 30 plus 12 plus 39. And you got to do that first. That gives you 81. And so if you subtract, that gives you 19. So those 19 are the outside ones. Those are the ones that are not taking neither math nor English. Okay. And then once you have your circle completed, then you can answer a question. So I think the question in the exercise asks how many students are taking neither a math class, or an English class. They're taking either a math class or an English class. A math class or an English class. Right? So, or, you got to remember what or means. Or, remember, or means union. Right? You're combining. So what you're doing is you're trying to find math union English. Math union English. Right? So how do I do that? You're uniting them. So when you unite them, what you're doing is you're finding the sum of the two circles, the numbers inside the circle. So you're going to add the 30 plus the 12 plus 39, which gives us, I believe, 81. Or add the numbers inside. Combining, or you add the numbers inside. Okay, so I did the 30 plus 12 plus the 39, 81. Okay. So we can build on it too. We can also ask questions like, besides that, M union E, we can ask how many students only took math? How many students only took math? Okay, so only means it's in the circle but not overlapping with the English. They're only taking math. Well, it looks like it's going to be 30 that only took math. Likewise, how many students only took English? Right? Again, you're looking at the red circle. I only want the numbers that are only taking English. You don't want the ones that are taking math. So I can't include 12, so it has to be 39. And the key word is the word only. You're only wanting that specific ones in that circle, not the ones that overlap. Okay, how many students took both math and English? Right? How many of them took both math and English? So that would be where they intersect. 12. So once you have your picture, everything falls into place. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do another example, and we will have to draw a picture of it. Okay. All right, so let's do the next one. All right, so this one is for lottery, I believe, and gambling casinos. Okay, so in 2015, there were 40 states that had some form of casino gambling in the state. 44 states that sold lottery tickets of some kind. And 36, yeah, that's 36, sorry, 36 states that had both casinos and lotteries. Draw a Venn diagram to represent the data and find how many states have only casino gambling, how many states have only lotteries, and how many states have neither. Sounds like a plan. All right, so here we go. Let's draw our picture. Let's see if I can draw it better and color code them correctly, like the other one I did the opposite, right? So I have two circles. So I have the red will be the casinos, and I'll have the green to represent the lotteries. All right, and I know what the universe is. How many states are there in the US? No, it's not 51. It's still 50 states. There are still 50 states. So we know that there's 50 states. All right, so let's go back and look at the problem and figure out, identify the value that represents the part where they overlap, the center. And you just look for the word both, both. So I believe it's going to be right there. There's both. The number is going to be 36. So 36 would go smack in the middle, right? And now I want to figure out, let's figure out the other piece. I know the circle, the red circle, is supposed to add up to 40. I want to figure out this missing piece there. I know 36 of the 40 is, they both have casinos and lotteries, but which ones just have casinos? So how do I do it? So I'm going to put casinos equals, all right, so it is 40 minus 36, which gives me 4. So there are 4. I'll go there. Okay. Now I got to figure out that empty spot there. So the empty spot, there's 44 that sell lottery tickets. There's 44. But from those 44, there's 36 of them that have both. So we already accounted the 36. So I need to figure out what's left over here. So for the lotteries, I'm going to get my total, which is 44. And I'm going to subtract where they intersect. And that should give me 8. So 8 goes there. You can double check. The green is supposed to add up to 44. Yeah, 36 plus 8 is 44. The red circle has to add up to 40. So let's add 40 plus 36. Yep, it equals to 40. So I entered all of my numbers inside the circles. Now I got to figure out which states do not have casinos from the 50. So to figure out the missing ones, which ones are left? What is left? All right, so I know there's 50 states, and I'm going to subtract the sum of the values inside the circle. 4, the 36, and the 8. So 4 plus 36 plus 8. So if I do 50, that believe that's going to be 48. 4 plus 36 plus 8, I think that's 48. And if I do 50 minus 48, I'm left with 2. So 2, there's 2 states that don't have any lotteries or casinos. I wonder which states that would be. Can't be Helotes, because Helotes is not a state. All right, well, let's answer those questions then. All right, so let's there's my picture. There's the work that I did to get to that. Now I can answer some questions. All right, so here are the questions, so we can ask and answer. How many states have only lotteries? Again, only lotteries. All right, so I go to my lottery circle, and I only want the only, so the only is the 8. That would be 8. All right, next one. How many states have only casinos? All right, go to my red circle. I only want the ones that are only have casinos. So that would be 4. Right? 4. They only have casinos. You can't do 36. 36 has both. Well, that would be the next question. Nah. How many states? Okay, well, naturally, no. How many states do not have casinos nor lotteries? Well, that would be 2. And I can ask last one. How many states have both casinos and lotteries? That would be where they intersect at 36. 36. There you go. And that's, my friends, that is section 6.3.